welcome back from that match. All right, I'm going to say something, and I kind of want your reaction to it. This was one of the worst setups against one of the worst teams.
I would say I would agree on the second part. It was one of the worst teams. It was not the worst setup. I think we've seen worse than 3 Vindicators, just because 3 Vindicators are cool.
Yeah.
But it was not a great setup. I wouldn't say it was good.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Rivy that they could have fit something else in there besides that damnation. They really didn't need the bonuses. I think it really came to piloting on Choke Point's part. If they had better pilots, I think they really could have taken that match.
Yes, I think looking at the field before we kicked off, I was like, Choke Point are taking this much better.
Yeah, at the beginning, like, all of the Ishtars were moving at 200 meters a second and staying in a ball, giving, like, a direct burn target. And then at some point they decided, like, oh, time to turn our MWDs on and burn away. Like, the only reason I could have think they were doing that was to maybe, like, run point for their Oneros and try and protect it. But an Oneros is not going to rep against 3 Vindicators if something gets caught. They just had to burst and get everybody as far away from each other as possible.
It really looked like they were trying to stay within range of the Vendis just because they wanted to use their newts and all their utility slots when they really just need to get out of the range of that 90% web.
But what wasn't clear was whether or not the Choke Point Oneros got caught by the Jags or by the Vindicators. Like, if they get chased down by the Jags who can hold it in place till the Vindicators get there, that's one thing. But if your logistics gets caught immediately, right off the bat, by the Vindicators, you've done something horribly silly.
It looks like that Oneros is going like 300 meters a second, so I don't think it was using its prop mod, if it even had a prop mod.
Yeah.
And you saw the web get on the Oneros and fall off, then on and off. So I think it was the Vendi, I said during our little break, was he was overheating his web, and then he would turn it off for a cycle, just to slow that Oneros down to give him the time to catch up while his MWD got up to speed.
Yeah. Yeah, tomorrow I'm just going to put everything on Hun Reloaded and Nully. Like, this match just showed no quality on either side, really.
Well, they're both really good teams so far, as we saw yesterday, especially Hun's Burger setups that they've brought every single weekend.
Yeah.
But it is important to note that we're not, like, we don't know everything that could have happened.
True. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scene, but it certainly didn't look magnificent.
I was not loud. My mustache didn't curl as I slightly.
It didn't there wasn't the kinetic energy and sparks flying off. All right, let's talk a little bit about live events.
Yeah.
So there's a group at CCP, and so what do you guys get up to?
Well, we're a group of devs who basically we voluntarily organised ourselves into a live events group. And the idea really is, you saw the first fruits of it with the dev fleets.
Yes.
And we want to do more stuff like that, but we also want to start supporting the storyline, the backstory, to do some backstory live events, which we will do in conjunction with the new storyline team. Mm-hmm. One of the very good things recently is that the storyline team's been reorganized with Toffee, CCP Toffee fans, and so that's a good direction. And I think with the volunteer devs who are working in the live events group, that's going to produce some nice events, which I think EVE players in general will enjoy, as well as those who are interested in roleplay. A lot of EVE players, I remember some of the old live events, the 0-0 Alliances got involved in them quite heavily. I remember the Galente Titan, the Solitaire. That was an interesting one.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be a slow build up to get to that level of live event, but I think we'll get there. I think it's going to be some interesting stuff.
I remember when we had the lead up to incursions, the Sanchez invasion.
Yes.
Those were a lot of fun.
Yes, they were. I mean, that was the result of some very dedicated work by a couple of devs, CCP Dropbat and CCP Head First.
Yes, I think so.
So that's the kind of thing we would like to get to do it again with the storyline back up.
Yeah, because I know a lot of pilots flew across just to get a chance to shoot at the dev fleet.
It's cool. Do we know any events that are coming up? Do we have anything on the schedule right now, or can we even talk about it?
I would very much like to. There's a storyline that's been hanging a little bit open to do with the Minmatar Republic and what's called the Tribal Assembly. And I'm kind of taking the lead in closing that little storyline loop off and doing a live event around that. So that's one that would come up. But I mean, there are other ideas that other people have, which I'm not actually, can't really talk about too much because they're in the early stages, and also it would spoil it a little. So, yeah.
All right, fair enough. But it is nice to know that it's starting back up and,
Yeah.
and people are actually working on it. Do you have you participated? I assume.
Yeah, I got on some kill mails in the dev caravan.
Yes.
And I was also, I actually tried to run for tests like a adaptation of the Incursions lead up, the Sanchez invasion.
Yeah.
There was something about like a wormhole that was like a secret special wormhole.
Yeah.
We were going to fake that we found it and make a bunch of people jump out into 0-0 and then kill all of them. It didn't quite pan out, but I was the guy trying to plan that one out.
You weren't on my kill mail from the dev caravan, were you?
I may have been. If you were on field, I almost certainly shot you.
I was on field, but I don't think anyone was really on the kill mail because I think I killed around 400 people, and then I self-destructed because at some point you're just like, all right, the skill is like, it's a little bit overboard now. I'm just gonna, take myself out of this equation. That's, I'm a fairly skilled PvPer.
Was that before or after the Titan drop?
It was, well, I killed a Titan. I had a fairly riced up Rifter. And, did a number on that Titan. All right, so we have another match coming up. It's Hun Reloaded versus Nolly Secunda. So judging by this last match, this looks to be two of the strongest team. Nolly Secunda had a setup that I'm not entirely sure if is good, but it was awesome to watch, which was the Dominic setup. So anyway, let's find out who are your bets for this.
Things.
Yes, those things.
I was really looking forward to this match today. I am going to go with Hun Reloaded. I think their Vargar setup's a little bit stronger, especially. I did talk to ProGod last night, which is one of the FCs for Nolly Secunda, and I said that they did bring a really nice setup yesterday, but I'd really like to see what they bring today.
I'm going to go with Hun Reloaded as well. They have a great commercial, and I've really liked their setup so far.
I'm going to go with Hun. I think making Vargas work in the tournament is nice to see.
I think Hun Reloaded might be the strongest team, but I will go with Nolly Secunda because I like their setup yesterday.
Devil's advocate.